The Cryptic Threat. Chapter 1. Whispers of Intrusion. Rain hammered against the tall windows of Lila Gray's upscale Manhattan apartment, the glass trembling slightly with each gust of wind. Shadows danced erratically across the walls, the occasional flash of lightning revealing the minimalist elegance of the room, a tasteful blend of vintage charm and modern sophistication. Yet tonight, elegance offered no comfort. A chill seeped through the room, deeper than the storm outside could account for. Lila paced anxiously across the plush Persian rug, her bare feet barely making a sound. She clutched her phone tightly, her pulse quickening as she dialed. She whispered urgently when the call connected, her voice quivering despite her effort to control it.
I think someone is watching me. Detective Mercer?
Across town, Detective Alex Mercer paused, his fingertips lightly tapping against a polished oak desk cluttered with open files and half-empty coffee mugs. His piercing eyes sharpened immediately, posture straightening, mind already assembling the pieces of a new puzzle. Alex instructed calmly, his voice steady yet reassuring.
Miss Gray, tell me exactly what happened.
I've been receiving threats. Anonymous notes mentioning my grandfather's unpublished manuscript, the one everyone believes was lost when he passed away. They demanded I hand it over, but I don't have it. Then tonight, I came home to find things subtly moved, books out of order, a drawer left slightly ajar. Little things that shouldn't matter, but do.
You're certain these aren't coincidences?
She breathed shakily.
Someone's been here. I found a single white rose left on my pillow, like some sort of message. My grandfather used to say, white roses symbolize secrets. Yes, I'm sure.
Alex straightened immediately, his sharp gaze narrowing.
Lock your doors and windows, Miss Gray. I'll be there shortly.
Minutes later, as Alex ascended in the polished elevator of Lila's high-rise building, he mentally prepared himself. Known for meticulous observation and calm rationale, even amidst chaos, he had built a reputation for unraveling the most complex mysteries. Lila opened the door, her eyes wide and anxious, her posture tense. She stepped aside to let him in, pointing silently to the bedroom. Alex moved quietly through the apartment, noting the tasteful decor juxtaposed with a tangible sense of intrusion. He stepped toward the window, slightly ajar despite the storm outside. His gloved fingers traced faint scuff marks along the sill. Someone had entered, and recently.
Has anything else significant happened recently related to your grandfather's manuscript?
Lila hesitated, then spoke in a strained voice.
He believed his manuscript held dangerous truths. Shortly before he died, he warned me never to speak of it, said the knowledge within could ruin lives.
Alex turned, his gaze intense yet comforting.
Someone clearly disagrees.
His eyes caught a faint glint beneath the edge of the luxurious duvet. With practiced caution, he lifted the fabric, revealing a folded slip of paper. Carefully, he unfolded it, the words inside stark and unsettling. Truth buried becomes poison. Lila watched him, fear and confusion evident in her eyes.
We're dealing with more than just threats here, Miss Gray. Whoever left this wants you afraid, but fear can also lead to mistakes. We'll use that.
He glanced toward the storm outside, aware that the true danger might be much closer than either of them realized. Chapter 2. Code of Silence. The Hartfield Literary Estates Library was an imposing structure, its towering shelves lined meticulously with leather-bound volumes and literary artifacts accumulated over generations. A solemn silence permeated the grand room, broken only by the occasional creak of aging wood or the muted ticking of an antique clock. Detective Alex Mercer stood amidst the grandeur, keen eyes scanning every detail with practiced precision. Beside him stood Evelyn Hartfield, the family matriarch, whose austere presence radiated authority. Her piercing gaze watched Alex warily.
Detective Mercer, I failed to see what our private library could reveal about threats against Lila.
Miss Hartfield, threats referencing your late husband's unpublished manuscript lead me directly here. I need to review any records or personal documents related to that manuscript.
Evelyn pursed her lips, reluctantly nodding toward a locked cabinet.
You'll find our private archives there. But I assure you, we've been through it ourselves and found nothing suspicious.
As Alex approached the cabinet, a younger man stepped into the room. Simon Hartfield, Evelyn's son. His appearance was polished, yet his eyes held a guarded caution.
Detective, are you implying someone within our family might be involved?
I'm suggesting we leave no stone unturned. Family secrets, even old ones, have a habit of resurfacing.
Simon's jaw tightened subtly, but he said nothing further, stepping aside as Alex carefully unlocked the cabinet. Inside, Alex sifted through neatly organized folders and letters. One letter caught his eye, slightly out of alignment with the others. He opened it, immediately noting the coded symbols mixed with ordinary text.
Cleverly hidden in plain sight.
He examined it closely, feeling the tension behind him grow palpable. Evelyn and Simon watched silently, their suspicion evident.
Does this code mean anything to either of you?
Evelyn's eyes narrowed sharply.
That was my husband's private correspondence. He kept certain matters secret, even from us.
Simon shifted uncomfortably, avoiding Alex's gaze.
My father had many secrets. Perhaps some should remain buried.
Alex nodded slowly, sensing the unease in the room. His attention returned to the letter, his fingers tracing the carefully coded message. Suddenly, something clicked, dates and references subtly mismatched with official family records he'd reviewed earlier.
These records have been altered. Someone's deliberately obscuring the truth.
Before Evelyn or Simon could respond, a library assistant hurried in, face pale, holding an envelope.
Detective Mercer, this just arrived.
Alex carefully took the envelope, opening it to find another cryptic message printed boldly in red. Seek too closely, and the next secret buried will be yours. Alex looked up sharply, eyes meeting Evelyn's and Simon's wary expressions, a chilling awareness settling between them. Someone was watching their every move, someone willing to threaten murder to protect their secrets. Chapter 3: The Hidden Author. Detective Alex Mercer navigated the winding, tree-lined path toward the isolated Hart estate. The manor loomed ahead, a stark silhouette against a cloudy, brooding sky. Its faded grandeur hinted at better days, but neglect had begun to erode its elegance. Vines crawled over its stone facade, and unkempt gardens whispered of abandonment. Alex approached the heavy wooden doors, knocking sharply. After a tense pause, the doors opened, revealing Adrian Hart. His gaze was sharp, wary, and tinged with bitterness.
Detective Mercer, I've been expecting you.
Then you know why I'm here.
Adrian stepped back, allowing Alex into a dimly lit hall. Dust motes danced in narrow shafts of pale sunlight filtering through stained glass windows. Books and manuscripts littered every available surface, reflecting Adrian's obsessive pursuit.
They've probably painted me as the villain, haven't they? Jealous, desperate to claim my uncle's legacy.
Threats and manipulation certainly haven't helped your image. But motives are rarely simple. What drove you to this?
Adrian's expression hardened, his eyes darkening.
My uncle's manuscript, the supposed lost masterpiece, wasn't his work. It was mine. Every word. He promised recognition, publication, a legacy, but when he died, my work vanished. Stolen by those who cared only about money and reputation.
Alex Mercer studied him intently, recognizing genuine pain beneath the anger.
Why the threats then? Why terrorize Lila and your own family?
They needed to understand the stakes. I never meant to harm anyone, only to reclaim what was rightfully mine.
Alex sighed, stepping closer.
You let fear drive your decisions, Adrian. It drowned out your message.
Adrian looked away, shame flickering briefly across his features.
I had no other way. They ignored my claims, dismissed my proof. I was erased, Detective.
Alex reached into his coat, withdrawing carefully preserved documents and handwritten notes.
These were hidden within your uncle's estate, evidence confirming your authorship. Your uncle's journals even detail his intention to publish your manuscript under your name. His untimely death prevented it. No conspiracy, only tragic timing.
Adrian took the papers with trembling hands, eyes widening as he read, disbelief transforming into relief.
I didn't know. I thought they destroyed everything.
Truth often lies hidden, buried under misunderstandings and mistrust. You weren't erased, Adrian, just overlooked. Your actions hurt innocent people, but the truth deserves to be known.
Adrian sank into a nearby chair, processing the revelation. Alex observed quietly, recognizing the familiar weight of human frailty and the complex interplay of right and wrong.
What happens now?
Justice, reconciliation, healing if you're willing. Apologies might be difficult, but necessary.
Adrian nodded solemnly, understanding the gravity of his choices.
I'll face whatever consequences I must.
That's a start.
As Alex stepped outside into the fading daylight, a sense of quiet resolution settled within him. The tangled threads of ambition, jealousy, and misunderstanding had finally unraveled, revealing a path forward, toward truth, justice, and perhaps forgiveness. Final legacy of truth. Weeks later, sunlight streamed warmly through the wide windows of a cozy Manhattan cafe. Detective Alex Mercer sat at a corner table, a steaming cup of coffee in front of him, alongside the morning's headline neatly folded beside it. Lost literary masterpiece published. True author Adrian Hart finally acknowledged. Alex sipped thoughtfully, observing the bustling city beyond the glass. The manuscript's revelation had sent ripples through the literary world, righting old wrongs and igniting fresh conversations about authorship, legacy, and truth. The cafe door jingled softly, drawing Alex's attention. Lila Gray entered, her posture confident and eyes brighter than when they'd first met. She spotted Alex immediately and approached, offering a genuine smile.
Detective Mercer, thank you. I owe you more than I can express.
Justice always feels better when it's shared. How are things now, Miss Gray?
Better. Adrian's reconciled with the family, and the truth brought clarity we desperately needed.
Truth tends to do that. It's messy at first, but eventually, it sets things right.
Lila paused, reflecting briefly.
And you? Did this case leave a mark on you too?
Alex Mercer smiled gently, his eyes thoughtful.
Every case does. This one reminded me that integrity often means seeking truth, even when it's hidden beneath layers of fear or misunderstanding.
The world needs more people like you, Detective.
He laughed softly, shaking his head modestly.
Just doing my job.
She nodded, her gaze sincere.
Thank you again.
As she left, Alex leaned back, watching the city rush by. Each case taught him more about human nature, its complexities, its darkness, but also its potential for redemption. Legacy, he mused, wasn't merely what was left behind, but the truth one chose to uphold, no matter the cost. He finished his coffee, stood up, and stepped out into the sunlight, ready to face whatever mystery awaited next, confident in the power of truth to guide him forward.